Thinking about selling your home? Awesome. Well, one of the first things you need to understand is what does it take to hire a seller's agent? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So there's a few things you're going to want to understand when you're hiring a seller's agent. First of all, ask them if they're on a team. There's a few different styles of relationships that you can have with your agent. One of them is where the individual agent handles all aspects of the transaction. Okay, they are going to know how to market your home. They're going to know how to handle the paperwork. They'll handle your negotiations. All that's just done by one person. It can be very easy and very seamless. The other side of it would be that there's multiple people that'll be involved in the transaction. Both of them are a good scenario. You just want to know what you're getting into. Sometimes, one will handle the contracts for you while another handles the marketing, and then they've got an assistant maybe. So different folks will be in touch with you about the different aspects of the transaction. Some after you get it under contract will handle from when you've got the property sold under contract till the closing. It's just something to be aware of. It's not that there's a good way, a better way, whatever. It depends more about how that agent is going to be able to perform. An individual agent can be really convenient because you only have to go to one person, only have to talk to one person, and they'll do their job really well. Or you could have somebody that doesn't do their job very well and they're overwhelmed by all the different tasks, so that wouldn't be a good scenario. Versus having a team. If they are a well-oiled machine, they work together well, then that can be a great scenario, versus if they don't, it could be a huge hassle. So just make sure that it seems like the people that you're choosing to work with are very competent at what they do, okay? Also, you can ask them about their sales history. Now, somebody might have been in the business for 30 years and sold a lot of homes, but that doesn't mean they're going to be competent at what they're doing now. And it doesn't mean that they're good at marketing in 2017 versus, they might be stuck in doing things how they did in the 90s. And obviously that's not going to net you the highest result. So yeah, look at how many transactions they've sold, either as an individual or as a team, whatever their case is. And that's valuable. But you're also going to want to look and make sure that right now they're doing a lot of business and that their business is thriving. You can also ask them, how many days they typically get things sold in versus what the market's doing. So you can see if they're about on par for average, then awesome. Or again, maybe they've been in the business for 30 years, but it takes them 5 times as long to sell a home. Not going to be a good idea for you. So those are a couple of different things. Last, of course, you're going to want to ask about the splits, okay? Or about the commissions that they charge. Part of that, a lot of sellers don't understand why they're charging so much money. We'll talk about more in person of specific charges and different things for your situation, the commissions. But you need to understand that generally in Minnesota with Realtor members, about half of what they're charging is actually going to go towards the buyer's agent and half will go towards the seller's agent, okay? With both of those, there's companies are going to take their percentage. They're going to market your property off of another percentage, that seller's agent will, and then they only actually take home that remaining amount, which they pay taxes on, so it's not nearly as huge of a chunk that it feels like you're paying that individual to sell the home. But there's obviously a lot more different parties that are involved that all have to get their split. So why are you paying the buyer's agent? A lot of people ask. Well, there's a lot of different reasons to it. I'm not going to go into the big history. There used to not be buyer's agents. Then they started having them. Sellers started to incentivize bringing those buyers through. The sellers were. Really, I like to think of it just in the sense that if your buyer had to come up with all the extra cash to pay their agent, they wouldn't be able to buy your property for as much anyhow. And so this makes it a little bit easier. They don't have to bring as much cash to closing, therefore making it more affordable to buy your home. They can buy it for a higher price than they would have otherwise. So it's the way that it all works out. You're selling now and you're feeling like you're paying a big chunk of money, but when you buy, then you're not going to be paying for your agent. So you're kind of getting hit double on one and none on the other. So ultimately it works out. As far as how much should an agent charge, well, I got to just refer you to the agent. Either give me a call and we can talk about my commissions, because it will vary from one agent to the next. And I'll just say this, don't necessarily go with the cheapest agent or the most expensive, but go with the person that is going to be able to net you the most money. So you want to make sure that they have a marketing plan that's rock solid, that's going to get you the most exposure, the most demand on your home, that they're going to be working their tail off to make sure that your home looks like $1 million and sells as close to it as possible, okay? They may charge a little bit more money, which is fine if you're going to net higher at the end. And that's really what you want to get a good idea of. If they're going to charge less on their commission, it actually means the buyer's agent's going to get less, so they're not going to be as likely to bring the buyer to you first on the list, versus incentivizing the buyer's agent more can be really beneficial to you. Or if they're not making as much money themselves, they're not going to spend as much money marketing your home. Again, you're not going to get as much demand, so therefore it could actually benefit you more paying a higher commission down the road. But you just want to understand what they're charging. There's usually a commission and an admin fee for most companies, so ask what those two things are. And then if you're speaking with multiple agents, ask them what they are and compare that relative to how you feel they're going to get the home marketed. You just want to have the best marketing plan to make sure your home sells for top dollar. That'll make it worth the money. So hopefully that helps. That'll give you a few things to think about when you're hiring your seller's agent. And if you want more videos like this, all different topics for buyers and sellers, I've even got one in there if you're thinking for sale by owner. I've got some in there for how to get your home ready to sell for top dollar, what that sales process looks like. The entire thing's in there. Just visit jcarmack.com and click blog. Thanks so much. Have a great day.